With the Russian invasion of Ukraine in full swing, the geopolitical landscape has completely changed, as have the priorities of the European Union and its relations with other countries. To discuss all this and the new initiatives on the Cyprus issue, I'm joined by the new President of the Republic of Cyprus, Nikos Christodoulides, who is in Brussels for the first time as President for the EU summit. Mr. President, thank you very much for this interview. This was your first time in Brussels as President of the Republic of Cyprus, and you came with a concrete proposal for a more active role for the European Union in resolving the Cyprus problem. Given the position of Turkey and the Turkish Cypriots, given that the dialogue has been frozen over the last 6 years, and given that Turkey is further than ever from the European Union, what exactly are you expecting? What can the European Union achieve that you couldn't over all these years?
When launching an effort to resolve the Cyprus problem, we should always take into account the international situation. It's not ourselves who influence international developments. We are actually affected by international developments. And what is the current state of affairs? The current state of affairs is that we have an illegal Russian invasion of Ukraine. And we have a European Union which, yes, pays the price for its decisions which are perfectly correct, and we agree and participate in the decision-making process, but develops a leading role, also taking into account the impact of the Russian invasion on other actors in the international system. This is the first dimension, a leading role on behalf of the European Union in a crisis on the European continent. The second dimension is the election of a new president in the Republic of Cyprus. The third dimension concerns the elections in Turkey. We have a period until the elections in Turkey which we should take advantage of so that dialogue can resume.
Speaking of Turkey and the elections coming in May, what do you expect afterwards? In the event Erdogan gets re-elected, or if we have a change with a Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu victory?
I certainly do not expect radical changes in Turkish foreign policy. At least this is what the history of Turkish foreign policy shows over time. But the election of a new president, whether it's Mr. Erdogan or the leader of the current opposition, still brings a new situation. And I repeat, the important thing is to make use of this period. And this is what we have agreed with the three presidents of the EU institutions, to create the conditions immediately after the elections in Turkey to resume talks on the basis of the agreed framework. Because, more than anyone else, we want an end to the occupation and the reunification of our homeland.
So in order to understand the initiative, your proposal is for the European institutions to take the lead, which is to put the Cyprus issue in the context of EU-Turkey relations?
There are two aspects of our proposal. The first is about the need to break the deadlock. We are not in the talks yet, but the first attempt is about breaking the deadlock to get the talks back on track. Here, we need the European Union's leading involvement. But always in the context of the United Nations, we are not attempting to take the Cyprus issue away from the United Nations. On the contrary, the United Nations and the framework of the resolutions are our safeguards in the pursuit of our objective. But in order to break the deadlock, we believe that the European Union, through the appointment of a political official, through the actions of the institutions themselves, can support us to achieve this goal. And this is the first aspect of our proposal. It's what we're focusing on and aim to achieve immediately after the elections in Turkey. With the resumption of dialogue comes the second part of the proposal. A very specific aspect of our proposal is the technocratic support for the talks as soon as they resume.
Let's move on to another dominating topic, and it will probably dominate for a long time. That is the Russian invasion of Ukraine. I want to ask you, the Republic of Cyprus, you've had very good relations and strong ties with Russia in the past. In fact, many aspects of this were severely criticised by Europe. Today, where do relations between the Republic of Cyprus and Russia stand?
Yes, there were historically strong ties with the Russian Federation, especially at the level of the people of the two countries. There was also an important dimension concerning the Cyprus issue and the fact that the Russian Federation is a permanent member of the Security Council. But the reality today is clearly different. The Republic of Cyprus will in no way escape the unanimous decisions of the European Union, in which, I repeat, we also participate.
This means that you, as President and as a new President of the Republic of Cyprus, you support the European policy of sanctions against Russia, and do you think they're working?
Sanctions are a tool that is rightly used by the European Union. Where we may have a problem is the implementation of sanctions, not just by member states, but also by those who are connected in one way or another with the European Union.
So you support them?
Of course.
Let's move now to another issue which is also of interest to the European Union, energy independence from Russia. Tell me, what role can Cyprus play in this, and if you've seen any increased interest from the European Union now towards the Eastern Mediterranean?
There is interest. Interest had been expressed before we took over the governance of the country. We have previously had some interest. I want to say things as they are, and it is this prospect of the famous gas corridor of the Eastern Mediterranean, through a leading role of the European Union and cooperation of the countries in the region. Yes, the Eastern Mediterranean can be developed as an alternative energy corridor for the European Union. In fact, according to the estimates of experts that know this matter better than me, the Eastern Mediterranean can cover up to 15 to 16% of the needs of the European Union over the next 25 years.
What about your energy programmes? What about drilling and finding gas in the exclusive economic zone of Cyprus?
We have found gas, and there are ongoing activities by companies located in the exclusive economic zone of the Republic of Cyprus. There's an issue there. I want to be completely honest, and...
Is there a timeline, and when will there be some tangible results?
This is an issue that we discussed with the Ministerial Council, especially with the Minister of Energy, about the need, after consultation with companies, to go out in public to tell people the truth. This gas will be used in that exact period of time. Until then, we will proceed to the stage of exploitation, because what worries me is that in 5 to 10 years, in the context of the green transition, these reserves may no longer be in a position to be used.
Mr. President, thank you very much again.
Thank you very much.